Cheers! Beautiful people, how are you? It is so nice to be here in Istanbul for the TUAD conference. It has been a lot of traveling, but finally we got here. Please welcome my legendary colleagues, Ennio and Alessandro. Guys, come on stage, please.
Hello, hi.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Turkey.
Morning.
Can you hear us? Very good. Hi, guys. So, well, Alexa, actually, we had a problem. I mean, unfortunately, for certain circumstances, we couldn't travel, so we can be somehow there in streaming, and no worries. I mean, you will be able to show what you're good at, okay? So...
You must be. Totally kidding, of course. I love Turkey. I wanted to be there. I have never been to Turkey so far in my digital life.
I know, you're right, Alexa, but I mean, we are somehow there. So, I mean, let's go on. I mean, we have to do it anyway.
Okie dokie. Well, let's not waste any more time. Shall I start?
Yes, Alexa, please start interviewing me, please.
Woohoo! Thank you. Now I'm going to ask you a few questions in order to know more about you.
Okay.
Let's start with your age. How old are you?
I am 37.
Really? 37? You look older than that. Kidding.
Yeah.
Never mind. Now that I've got a little more familiar with you, I'd like to know, do you own a voice assistant?
No, not yet. I don't.
And would you like to purchase one within the next 6 months?
Oh, well, yes, I am thinking of buying one. Yeah, sure.
Ahem. Excellent choice. Which other voice assistants are you aware of?
I know Cortana, I know Siri, and I know Bixby from Samsung, and I think that's it.
Excellent. Are you sure you don't remember any other?
Of course, I know you, Alexa. There is you.
Magnificent. If I ask you now, on a scale from 0 to 10, where 0 means not at all, and 10, very much, to what extent do you fear the introduction of artificial intelligence into your life?
To fear the artificial intelligence? No, 0. I trust it. I trust you.
All righty. Ennio and Alessandro, it is time to say goodbye. My batteries are exhausted.
Okay, Alexa, I mean, you can go around, but I mean, don't go too far because we might need you again. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so guys, let's go straight to the point. We want to tell you now how market research might change in the next year, but let's start with some historical background. So according to us, I mean, human beings have always tried to use their voice, I mean, in the recent time, to command, to control machines. So our history of voice interaction starts in 1961, when IBM went out with the IBM shoebox. Actually, IBM shoebox is this kind of device. It was like actually a shoebox with 10 bulbs in front, and the operator could tell a number into the microphone, and the corresponding bulb was lighting up. This machine was also able to make calculations. So if you were saying 1, 2 multiplied 3, then there was a small printer that was getting out the results. Of course, I mean, it's 2011 a real turning point because a small startup called Siri was acquired by Apple. And the big change is that a lot of people on the iPhone 4S started to have this kind of technology, this new way to interact, to make web queries. So the world somehow started to change. Of course, I mean, it's 2014, another milestone, an important one, because two big players, Amazon and Google on the other side, and Apple still, they decided to break into the market with something very revolutionary, something that would change, something that is staying at home in the households, and that is really giving you the chance to do many more things. So how it works, I mean, I will show you, I mean, because I believe in Turkey is not yet there, Alexa, but nevertheless, the Alexa and Amazon Echo is looking exactly like this one. So it's like a, well, can of Coke or something like that. And the way it works is very easy. You can speak into it, and then the voice goes into the microphone, then it goes into the cloud, a lot of time actually converted into text. Sometimes you might need some AI behind, so it can actually respond in a way that is not predetermined, and then it goes back to the speaker and then to the response. So this is the way it works. Of course, as soon as you buy something like that, it is already able to do some things, but not everything. So what you need are the skills or the action for Google Home. And the skill, you can say, is like a smartphone app. So it is something that is giving new capabilities to the tool. Why did we get very interested in this topic? Because it seems that by the end of 2019, there was actually 100 million Amazon Echo in the States. If you add up as well the Google Home devices, the Apple, and all the others, it means that the 44% of the American households are covered with this kind of technology. And I mean, I don't want to say it's representative, but it's something very interesting. So there is another research that we looked at, made by Juniper Research, that is forecasting that in 2023 we are going to have 8 billion voice assistant. Of course, not only smart speakers, but smart TV, wearable. So we are going to be surrounded by different ears that can perform action on our behalf. So basically what we want to say is that Michael Knight's watch is not anymore the future. So that environment, so the fact of being able to control things is now the future. Okay. So let's go into, again, some other background. What is changing is the relationship between humans and technology. So it's no longer, tactile and silent, but is vocal and contactless. So we have to start to be, to adapt into that, because it's going to be a kind of bit more human. But, so, a lot of people are saying that methodologies are maybe less effective than in the past. I'm referring to face-to-face, CATI and CAWI. So the response rate is dropping in a lot of them. And the reason behind it is not because people don't want to give their opinion anymore, but probably we are not using anymore the right channels. So what we thought is to try to use new channels, such as actually social medias over the smartphone, because they are always with us, and AI over smart speaker, because that is where we actually gather information for what we need in our life. So basically now I would like Alessandro to tell us what was our experiment that we presented at the ESOMAR Congress in Edinburgh last year. So what was that about?
Thank you, Ennio. So far we have seen researchers from other institutes. Then we wanted to make our own research to understand something really, really important, which is the openness and availability of people to use vocal assistant to answer market research. So what we have done was to find 1,000 people in US and 1,000 people in UK, 18 plus, of course. All of them, they had to be owners of a smart speaker. How we got them, how we found them was through social media. I will soon explain you what I mean. We have done it from 12 to 19 of July 2019. And so again, the idea was to give some basic to our thought, to our idea. So we had to find these people in social media. We mainly created a sponsored ad on Facebook and on Instagram, like the one that you see in this slide. So people could open their profile, their social, and they could see this kind of ad. We showed that only to people that is interested to, you see there, Alexa, Amazon Echo, Google Home, Apple HomePod. So they are likely to be owner of one of them. Then, of course, inside the survey, we asked them, do you actually own a voice assistant? If they say no, they were screen out. They say yes, they are screening, and they continue the survey. So this is the way we found them. We actually use this, which is called Cube Survey, for all of our clients. We use it in many occasions, and it's actually a very good tool that I would like to explain more. But this is not the moment. We're speaking about other things. So we found these people, and then clicking on them, so touching the phone on the ad, they land immediately on the CAWI programmed survey, which is the one that you see on the right side of the screen, and they could answer our survey. So some numbers: 12 million CATI. We showed this thing 215,000 times in UK, 170 in US. We got almost 5,000 click and 4,000 click for UK and US to have, as I said before, 1,000 interviews each. So as you can see, also the redemption rate were quite good. So from the click to the CAWI. So this was the methodology, let's say, but what we found out. We found out that in the household, the people own mainly Amazon, at least in UK and US, 69 and 77. All the other are kind of residual, so much less market share for the other players. This is also why we have decided 1 year ago, 2 years ago, to bet on this and start experiment on Echo instead of maybe Google Home. What we saw was a really important number with this 68%. What is that? This is the percentage of people that we interviewed that would prefer to give their opinion on service and on product to a smart speaker over any other methodology. So they would prefer to do that over speaking with someone on the phone, over answering a CAWI or an online survey. This is really promising for us. This is what is giving us the strength to go on and to continue studying and understanding how we can use VAI, as we call it, so vocal-assisted interviews for market research. We actually created, and we want to propose you 7 pathways to use VA for market research. Let's start with the first one. Me and Ennio, we come from CATI world because our company is basically still a CATI provider. So the first thing we thought was to use the machine, the tool, as a telephonic operator. So we call that phone skill surveys. So in this way, you keep the good aspect of CATI, the fact that the data is, of course, very clean, that the opinion is, the data is objective, even more than with a human, and then it's much faster and cheaper because, of course, sorry to say, but you are dealing with a machine, not with a person. And of course, you have a very good touch of interculturality and multilinguality because Alexa is already speaking several languages, and so we could apply this to several projects and to several countries. We have done a case study in a project. We actually received 7,500 numbers from our client, and we had to interview 5,000 people each way for a tracker study, a customer satisfaction study over car owners. We have done the first 10 waves with CATI, and normally it took 9 days with 10 operators. The last 2, we decided to do it with the VAI, the vocal assisted interviews, and much faster. It was 2 days to complete 500 interviews. So this was really, really, really important for us. Let's go on and let's speak about another way that we can use the VAI without actually owning the thing itself, the Amazon itself. Why? Because of course, not everybody has it. So we could actually use a web page or a web app to make people speak with their mobile or their computer and answer our surveys. So you don't need to own that to use it and to answer that. This is quite important, and I would like to show that in another case study we have done, receiving to 28,000 email addresses from our client, sending a normal survey like a CAWI, 8 minutes. We have done 1,000 interviews like that. Then at the end we said, just as an experiment, would you like to speak with your device? Would you like to answer the last 3 questions with Alexa? And they said yes. And so in the end, we had 57% of people who agreed on that. And we could see in the end that the data were really comparable. So again, we're speaking about experiment. We are studying on that, but it seems that both people are willing to do that, and both the data are absolutely not the same, but comparable, and the quality is absolutely acceptable. Another thing I want to speak with you about is the panel skill survey. So imagine a normal panel, but instead of coming home, open up your computer and start doing a CAWI next to another one and another one, you just speak with your device. You come home and say, "Hi Alexa, are there any survey for me tonight, today? Now?" And she could say yes or no. It depends if there are any available. What we gain with that, we gain a lot of, let's say, fun, or at least the way to interact is much easier because you just can use your voice and keep on doing what you were doing before. So playing with the dog in the picture, or doing your business while you speak with the CAWI, and of course that you can get your reward and answer freely. There are other examples that I want to show you, but let Ennio do that.
Yeah. I mean, the case study is actually, in this case, an ongoing study. So we actually spoke with one of our clients, because just to remind, probably we didn't say that, but we are just an agency, so we don't go to end clients. So our clients are normally research institutes, like the big ones and the small one in all Europe. So one client was actually attracted by the idea, and they said, I would like to convert into an Alexa panel my panel. So we just said, okay, let's take this challenge. So we sent over 2,000 Amazon Echo devices to these people, and they are starting now to interact with it. The great advantage is that it's a lot about real time. It's a very new way to interact. So something very similar that we can focus on is the magic word survey. The idea behind is that people can just share with Alexa specific moments like, hey, Alexa, I'm having a glass of wine. So that Alexa can start, asking questions about that specific momentum. It's something very revolutionary, very interesting. Something very similar is another idea about another skill that is like in an alpha phase. You know that a lot of white goods, a lot of different devices, as we said before, they have or they are going to have soon a voice assistant. So why not having the white good itself or the device asking you question? So the best moment to ask someone about what kind of powder they use for the washing machine is when they are actually using it, or when they have just used it, when they just stopped using it. So the idea behind is to try to embed kind of interviewer with Alexa into the different devices. For instance, let's think about a car. I mean, the car is a place, we do a lot of studies about cars, but the problem in this sense is that we always ask about memories or about intention. What do you plan to buy? Or do you remember your last oil change? It's okay, but I mean, probably we are relying too much as a market research industry on memories. But what about having this information when the things are just happening? So maybe it is raining. You're going to ask, how do you feel with your Mercedes, with your BMW, now that it's raining? So this is the idea behind. So here again, we can do, we're going to be surrounded by a lot of different gears, and it's going to be the connected object to administer the questions. So something, again, that is similar to the panel, but it's a little bit more specific, is what with the so-called branded skills survey. Let's imagine maybe once again a car manufacturer that is interested in understanding what people think about the brand over a longer time. So let's say that I go to a dealer and I'm going to buy a Volkswagen Golf. Okay, the dealer will give me an Alexa device as a gift, maybe a branded one, so that with a brand on top. And then with maybe, 10 interviews over a year, 6-7 minutes, they will give me maybe some maintenance for free or something like that. The idea behind is that actually the people are going to be kind of sentinels of the brand. So they can inform the brand about what they hear about, or if they have any claim. So there is as well a kind of a mix between the customer experience and a survey itself and the customer care. So it can be, again, a new channel that we can use. So people, we saw that actually they want to have a kind of a fil rouge, so a direct connection to the brand, maybe a brand they're a fan of, or in general, in order to give them information on a regular basis. It's like an online thematic diary, something like that. The last one is the social skills survey. I mean, in this sense, we wanted to mix together what is Cube survey, so this methodology looking for people over the social media with difficult targets, together with, Alexa. So there we can intercept impossible targets. I don't know, people playing golf in Ankara being between 18 and 35 years old. So something like that, we can show this advert to specific people, and then we can be faster than normal CAWI and access panel because we can interview them going to the net sample, to that distilled sample, let's say like that. But then they can as well use Alexa to answer their question. So what are our learnings? The owners of smart speakers seems to be, at least in the UK and US, ready to start using it to share opinions. That is why for the magic word survey, if you remember, like Alexa, I'm shading, the 70% would give their consent from time to time, maybe once a month or once every week, to share some of their moments and tell what they feel about that moment. And on the other side, the learning is that people would like to be interviewed for what they like, what they're interested in. So in the end, just to close this kind of reflection, what we did is in the end very easy. We have actually inverted the paradigm, the regular interaction that we normally have with a smart speaker. So normally we have a user that is saying, Alexa, what is the weather? Alexa is asking question to the device. What we've done is just the other way around. Is the device which is asking the question to Alexa. Nothing more than that if you want to think about it. So Now, we don't want to go against this guy, which is Pablo Picasso, but actually he thought that computers are useless because they can give you only answers. In this sense, although the guy is right, of course, we are going to make these devices asking questions. So the last thought is important because we have to understand how, in general, artificial intelligence can, be part of the market research industry. There are a lot of applications already about, coding of open ends or different tasks, chatbots, but we have to think about what we want to take out of this opportunity. So do we want to have them? Probably we should do what we have done with animals. Like, for instance, we used the strength of an horse in order to carry very heavy weights, or the sense of smell of a dog in order to give us, to look for people. So basically what we have to do is to take the best out of it. These smart devices, they are going to be in the households of people, so we can be very close to our consumer. The point is how to use it. So I want to leave you somehow with a question, and is, what is going to be the role of voice assistant? So guys, that's actually it. So if you have any question, no problem. Otherwise, you can still look for us on LinkedIn and you can ask any questions. So I don't know if we can get back the audio from you. So.
Ennio, Alessandro. Thank you very much. Biraz daha yüksek. We send you our love, our best wishes for Italy, and thank you very much. It's been a wonderful presentation, very innovative, as I said yesterday. This is the future. We really enjoyed it. Grazie tanto, alla prossima volta.
Grazie a voi.
Ciao ciao.
Ciao.
Biz de yemeğimize gidiyoruz. Teknolojide zirveyi gördük. Artık bundan sonra her şeyi yapabiliriz. Afiyet olsun.